Hi, my name is Amy Cavanaugh Murphy, and I am an incest survivor. I'm not anonymous. This is my real name. This is my true story. The U.S. Department of Human Services estimates that at least 1 out of every 10 children is molested by a trusted family member before they turn 18. Incest affects and has affected thousands of men and women. Each day, innocent children are being molested and raped, but nobody wants to talk about it. Even saying the word incest makes people uncomfortable. No one wants to believe that such a heinous crime exists. That is one reason it remains rampant. Let me tell you, adults rape children. I'm here to bring incest out of the closet, out of the secrecy and darkness. I want to reach out to fellow survivors and let you know that you are not alone. I want people to prevent child sexual abuse by talking and listening to their children. Report any and all suspicious adults to your local police agency. Any suspicions at all, because you may save a child's life. I was sexually molested by my biological father from age 3 until my late teens. My mother chose to look the other way, to deny anything was taking place, even when she walked in and saw my dad molesting me. Why didn't I tell somebody? There are a number of reasons incest victims don't talk about it. One is threats. Victims are routinely threatened with violence against themselves or someone they love. In my dad's case, he put actions to his words. He would torture and kill my animal pets in front of me. Images that haunt me to this day. Do I believe he could have hurt me? Absolutely. He proved that. The other thing is, I was taught that it was normal and expected for fathers to have sex with their daughters. As a small child, I believed what my parents taught me. In a sense, it was all I knew. I also carried a lot of shame and displaced responsibility. I believe that I caused my father to rape me. Silly, I know. I grew up in an era when society was still blaming women for sexual abuse and rape. As I also suffered extensive physical abuse, I had a beaten child's mentality. Everything was my fault. I blamed myself erroneously for decades. I was full of shame and guilt. I felt dirty and sick most of my early years and probably most of my life, actually. I was very ashamed and embarrassed. I didn't want anyone to find out what I was causing my dad to do to me. I'm not the only child my dad raped. I witnessed it happen to other children, but I'm the only one that can talk about it. At 27 years of age, I decided to get healthy. I completely left my biological family. I left in the middle of the night, leaving no note or forwarding address. I drove 200 miles away. Overnight, I became an orphan. I sought counseling and therapy, both individually and in groups. My healing journey began. My dad died last year. I visited him in the hospital, and much to my surprise, he admitted the abuse and apologized for his behavior. His eyes told me that he had suffered severely for his crimes. He was full of remorse. I chose to forgive him. I broke the bonds of anger, resentment, and revenge. At his visitation, I finally realized that all his threats had died with him. I was free. Parents aren't born child rapists. My dad was also severely sexually abused. Does not excuse his behavior in any way, shape, or form. But I better understand why I was molested. I continue to work on healing and dealing with my post-traumatic stress disorder and my dissociative identity disorder. My life improves a little every day. I am speaking out not only for myself, but for the thousands of men and women who suffered as children and carry the blame, shame, and guilt to this day. It wasn't your fault. A child does not provoke or do anything to cause a child to hurt them, to sexually abuse them, to rape them, or molest them. I speak out and I pray for the thousands of children being molested every day. once we stop denying what happened to us, stop feeling the shame and the guilt, then we can look around and we can see the other children that are hurting. Maybe we can help them. Find your voice, seek professional help, listen to the children. You are not alone. It wasn't your fault. I am no longer an incest victim. I am an incest survivor. I break the silence.